I'm not sure where to even really begin with the story of how God placed Levi in our path. We are so excited with the story that he is writing, and that only he could write. About 6 months probably after we were home with Cora, we began to really seriously talk about adopting again. We always knew from the first time that we had been in process and had gone to China, we felt like that we had a son there and that someday we would be going back. So about 6 months after we came home with Cora, we started really talking and beginning to pray about the process. We weren't eligible to be in the process yet, but we really began to pray at this time. And it wasn't long after that that I look frequently on the China waiting child advocacy sites, and there's always pictures of kids that you pray for, and that, all of them are precious and all of them are adorable, and I'm always praying that they all get homes. But one particular day I'm scrolling through, and all of a sudden I saw our son's face, and it just stopped me dead in my tracks. It just felt like his eyes were just looking all the way into my soul almost. I'll never forget that feeling the first time I saw him. Knowing at that time that we weren't eligible to begin the process yet, I kind of tucked those feelings away. I didn't want to get too attached to a picture, and I knew the odds of us being able to match with him, didn't seem all that probable unless it was a total God thing. So I had sent this picture to Corey, and, he agreed to pray, and that if it was, God's will, that it was all going to work out. So we began to, pray more at that time. After I had sent Corey that picture, I had a good friend and coworker that had invited me to a women's conference. And it was at a church in Whittington that I had never been to before. And I had invited a few people from work, and they were all excited about it, but it turned out that morning came, and none of them were able to go. So I got up that morning, and I was almost discouraged. I thought, I don't really feel like going today. I'm tired. I've got so much, that I should be doing today. But kind of in the back of my heart, I felt like, God was up to something this day, and that it was going to be an awesome morning at the women's conference. So I got up and got around and got ready to go. My friend Erin was there when I arrived, and I talked with her for a short little while. And I'll never forget when the speaker got up to speak. She started giving her testimony about her China adoption. And I thought, okay, this is weird. I didn't even know, adoption was going to be on one of the topics today at a women's conference. And as she began to speak, I thought, okay, God, what are you doing? And she just began to talk about all the kids that are waiting in China, and she gave her full testimony of bringing their daughter home. And at the end of when she was talking about all the thousands of kids that were waiting for homes, she put a slide up on the screen. And there was just a few kids on it. And there in the middle of that slide was our son, the little boy that I had sent Corey the picture of. And I couldn't believe it. My heart felt like it was about to beat out of my chest. I'm sure she thought I was a little bit crazy, that after she was done speaking, I, ran up to her and I showed her the picture, and I was like, you're not going to believe this, but I just showed this picture to my husband, and we've been praying about adopting again last night. And then I come here this morning, and there his picture is staring back at me, and she was excited as well and agreed to pray for us. And I had sent Corey the picture in a text, and I said, you're never going to believe whose picture is up on the screen, the little boy that I sent you. And he just kind of laughed and says, what does it all mean? And we agreed, still that we weren't eligible to start the process yet. And although I was excited at the thought of this being our son, I knew that there was still a lot of things that had to come into place, and that ultimately that God was writing our story. And I prayed and I said, God, I have such a heart for this little boy, and I know that you put him in my path for a reason. And whether or not that reason is that he is our son, I trust you, in whatever that is. And we just went forward from there. A few months later, about 3 months later, we were eligible to start our home study process. So we started the process again, and a couple of months after that, our agency was actually able to match us with this little boy. His file was actually with another agency, and they said absolutely. We had his file reviewed by some doctors, and they transferred his file for us, and we got pre-approval. So we are so excited to be on this journey. And Levi, if I could tell you one thing, I would just tell you how excited and lucky we are to be your family. We are truly the lucky ones, and we are so excited to meet you and to see all that you will do and all that you will become. And we're just so lucky to be a part of your story. We love you. We'll see you soon, son.